Folks, thanks for coming on with us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour discussing the extra difference you get in working with Cigna and many of the programs that they offer. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with much of the material that we reference, including the PowerPoint for the presentation itself, will be sent to everyone who has RSVP'd to today's presentation. We thank you for coming on the line with us, and we'll go ahead and get started with a little bit of information about Premier itself. We're a national marketing organization that's founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We act as an insurance wholesaler, contracting with independent insurance agents such as yourself, and those contracts are offered at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. As I mentioned, we were founded in 1968, so that means this past year we celebrated a milestone in our history, our 50th anniversary. We feel that's quite an accomplishment for what began as a small family agency in rural Nebraska that's become one of the largest producers in the Medicare space, in conjunction with our contracted agents in both the Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage world. We do so through a full insurance portfolio that includes a multitude of Medicare Advantage and Med Supp programs and a large number of standalone Part D prescription drug plans as well. The life insurance and annuity program is very large and includes final expense and pre-need programs. We also offer long and short-term care plans, disability income programs, and ancillary benefits that help fill those extra needs of our prospects and clients with programs such as dental, vision, and hearing programs, critical illness and cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs. That Medicare Advantage portfolio includes all the national carriers and includes many of the strong regional carriers that make a difference in your market as well. That same philosophy carries over to the standalone Part D programs, where the national carriers are there for your disposal in working to satisfy the needs of your prospects and clients. Medicare Supplements, it's a very large and robust portfolio, and we offer some fairly unique support in order to help ensure your success in this portion of the Medicare market. Ancillary products, all the name carriers in the different categories are there for you, for your use, including our featured partner for today. And we think that the programs not only fill a strong need for your prospects and clients, but offer different marketing possibilities for you as an independent agent, and also gives you that extra help of an additional revenue stream into your agency. When we look at the Medicare market itself, it's a very burgeoning market. You don't come on one of these calls without a marketing person like myself or a carrier representative like Jim speaking of the aging of the baby boomers, with 10,000 people a day turning 65, a person turning 65 every 8 seconds. And it's important to note that that's only a part of the Medicare market, because about a sixth of the population is actually under the age of 65 and access Medicare benefits through disability. And that means a varied portfolio of programs is very helpful to you in order to serve those needs, because the Medicare population has some challenges. They have a multitude of chronic conditions. 2/3 of the population have 3+, and they're also a bit challenged sometimes when it comes to their income and assets. So it's important for us to help them budget for the inevitable medical expenses many of us encounter, and have a variety of programs that can help them in different settings for different needs, because that's a strong component moving forward in all channels of folks that are on Medicare. And what I mean by that is not only the folks that are aging in, but are under the age of 65 that need our help as well. So when we look at some of the possibilities we have with different carriers, one of the programs we're really proud to represent and work with includes Cigna, and they offer some different discounts or or different programs, I should say, that can really make a difference for you in your marketing practices and the support that you see, but also in the products that they offer. And so we have with us today our guest speaker, Mr. Jim Codney, who's the Regional Vice President of U.S. Individual Sales based out of Austin. And he's here to help us discover more about Cigna's portfolio and the programs that they offer. So I'm going to turn control of the screen over to Jim and ask him to take it away as soon as I can get you the comm. And I think there we go.
Thanks a lot. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's an exciting day for us at Cigna. We're actually just launching a brand new product line today, so it's very timely that we're on this call and able to spend some time together. As John spoke about, Premier is a really good partner in the industry, but a really special partner for me and Cigna. That's why when we had this opportunity on the first day of launching a new product, we thought what a great opportunity to talk to all of you on this call. And again, thank you for taking your time. So just a little idea to set the tone of what we're going to do today. We're going to spend just a couple minutes on Medicare Supplement. Most of you that have been selling us for a while know our Medicare Supplement, but there's I always get questions about it. So we'll spend a couple minutes on that. Then we're going to dive into our brand new product that just launched today in 46 states. It's our hospital indemnity product that we're, again, really excited about. And then we're going to close talking about what has been, since I've been with the company, our number one supplemental health product, which is our lump sum cancer, heart attack, and stroke product. It's a great product that I think does wonders. We sell a ton of it. So with that, we'll get going. For those of you who sell Medicare Supplement, as you see on your screen right now, we actually sell under 3 different charters or 3 different names. We still do have American Retirement Life Insurance Company and Loyal American. Now, ARLIC and Loyal are not over the whole country like they used to be, because in 2016, we launched Cigna Healthy Life Insurance Company, MedSup. That quickly brought us from what was kind of a mid-level player in the Medicare supplement market into being one of the big national players like the Mutuals and the Aetna and the UHCs of the world. I think in the last few years we've been fortunate enough and had a good enough product to be one of the powerhouses in the Medicare supplement market. This is pretty much what the map looks like today. A few of those orange have actually recently turned light blue, so I apologize for not having an updated slide. But the light blue on your screen right now, that is Cigna Health and Life Insurance Company. So it's what we commonly refer to internally as CHILIC. The dark blue is Loyal American MedSup. And again, the orange is ARLIC, and some of the orange again has been converted recently into Cigna Health and Life Insurance Company. One thing I would like to point out for those of you who sell in the states with the dark blue stars, that actually those are states where we have our substandard MedSup, which we will talk about very briefly here in just a moment. But really what that is for clients who have some, we'll say, challenging health conditions, are not eligible for guarantee issue or open enrollment, and still want a Medicare supplement for whatever reason, whether it's freedom of choice, etc., and are willing to pay a little more for that coverage. So we'll go through that. Now at Cigna, we do include Healthy Rewards when your clients buy a policy. This is separate from your policy, your client's policy, It does not come in the same packet because we want them to actually read about it. It's simply a discount program, does not cost your clients any money, it actually saves them money if they utilize these discounts. I'll highlight a few things. If you look at the fitness club discounts, we have almost 12,500 fitness clubs, yoga, Pilates studios, etc., that your clients could get at least a 10% discount from. Eyeglasses, weight loss through Jenny Craig, LASIK, hearing exams, aids, and protection devices, etc. And again, no cost to your clients. They only save money if they utilize Healthy Rewards. So really nice, benefits added for our policy holders. I brought up those dark blue stars on the map a little earlier, and now I want to take a moment and kind of talk about that a little more in detail. We actually have 4 different rate classes for our Medicare Supplement. Preferred and Standard is what most of you sell MedSup would have sold before. That's our normal customer, and the only difference is whether they're a tobacco user. Standard 2 and Standard 3 are what we call internally our substandard rate classes. And again, those are for people with some chronic health conditions that would not traditionally qualify through underwriting, but still want a Medicare supplement. So as you see on this screen, these are the conditions that we will accept through Standard 2 and Standard 3 or substandard MedSup. Things like coronary artery disease, COPD, CP, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer, diabetes with all kinds of other issues, neuropathy, retinopathy, and vascular disease, etc. I'm just highlighting some of those, but as you see on your screen right now, there's a plethora of real chronic health conditions that your client could or would have that would traditionally exclude them from the opportunity to go through underwriting and get a MedSup. Well, if they have any of these conditions and still want a MedSup and are willing to pay extra premium for that, we do have a plan that they may qualify for. Again, we do not decline for any of these conditions on the screen right now. Now, household discounts are I'm going to say an interesting thing, because having been an agent out in the field and selling Medicare Supplement before I came on the carrier side several years ago, it's not lost on me that we all kind of look at household discounts a little differently. I know some of the carriers out there, if your client has a rat in the attic, they give them a 12% discount. Some they have to be married. So, it's challenging if you are a broker who sells multiple companies to always remember what the qualification is for the household discount. I'm going to try and simplify it for you. In most states, really all states except for Oregon that allow a household discount, we give a 7% discount. Now, notice we call it a household discount, not a spousal discount. What I mean by that is really all it means is 2 people in the same address, not neighbors or friends in different apartments, but in the same physical address that both have a Cigna Medicare Supplement. So it's got to be one of the 3 charters that we talked about earlier: Cigna Health and Life Insurance Company, American Retirement Life Insurance Company, or Loyal American. If 2 people residing in the same household have a policy with us, we will give them the discount. It's 7% in all states that it's in, except for Oregon, which it is 12%. So the way that works, let's say siblings are sharing a house, they both have a Cigna Medicare Supplement, we would give them both 7%. Same as if it's friends, if it's intergenerational, which we see now more than ever in the past, mom or dad or mom and dad living with one or of their children, we would still give that discount as long as 2 people in that household had a Cigna Medicare Supplement. So just to give you an idea, it's pretty simple to qualify for, but just wanted to make sure and clarify that. Now to what I think is the star of the day, since it's our first day launching this product, our hospital indemnity. We're really excited. This is a senior-focused product that we're launching today on paper. And for those of you who utilize our Express App e-application, it should be available early next month with Express App 2.0 that you've probably been getting emails about. So let's get into the product a little bit. Traditionally, what the hospital indemnity is sold for is for clients that have a Medicare Advantage to help offset that maximum out-of-pocket exposure should they have to be confined in a hospital. As most of you know, clients who have Medicare Advantage could have up to $6,000 or $7,000 maximum out-of-pocket exposure, and this helps with that. And we'll go through what the coverage actually is here in just a moment. But it could also be used in conjunction with other insurance to help cover deductibles, copays, etc. Now, as you see on your screen right now, this plan is offered in 46 states plus the District of Columbia starting today. I know it says coming soon because this slide was made before today, but just launched today. So in most of the states in the country, this product is available. Hopefully, none of you are primarily selling in California, New York, Connecticut, and New Hampshire and looking for a new hospital indemnity. If you are, I apologize, but we won't be able to help you at least at this time. Now, here's some basics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we're going to go through the product a little more in detail, but just to give you an idea of this plan, it's available for clients 50 to 85, and it's guaranteed renewable for life. So as long as your client doesn't lapse the policy, we will renew it every year. If you look a little farther down on that left row or left column, pardon me, it does say that there are HSA compliant options on this plan for your clients, which is nice. On the confinement benefit, we offer a 6 and 10-day benefit period, and we offer about 4 riders that we'll get into here in a moment. We've already kind of talked about who's interested and why they would be interested, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this screen, but it just drives home who and why and what it does for them with the hospital indemnity. So to slow down a little bit and to set the table and tell you what I really like about our hospital indemnity, as somebody who's been an agent and sold a bunch of different types of products, everything from property and casualty, life and health, to variable annuities. One of the things I really thought was great when I was out in the field is options. Until I sat down with a lot of my senior clients and started planning for their retirement, and I'd give them 53 options on a product that I thought was amazing. And by the time I was done and asked the client to make an educated decision on either their retirement savings or their health care, they looked at me and said, well, I didn't understand a word you said. Can you please tell me what I should do? As an insurance professional, that was pretty disheartening because I really wanted to be a benefit to my client and help educate them, not just tell them what they should buy. So this product is really simple, and I know sometimes simple in our industry has a negative connotation, but again, when we're talking about working primarily with seniors and helping them make educated decisions about their health care, sometimes I think simple is actually best. So we have 3 pre-packaged plans, and I'll go through each plan, and then I'll go through the riders. So plan 1 is simply a hospital confinement benefit, as you see on your screen right now. So if your client's confined in the hospital, they have 2 choices with plan 1. Do they want a 6-day or 10-day confinement period? And how much benefit do they want per day? Do they want $100 all the way up to $450 a day, as you see there in $25 increments? That's plan 1. Plan 2 is that same confinement benefit and choices, but we add an observation room and skilled nursing facility benefit as well. So again, very simple. I think any of us, you do this once or twice, you can sit down, you can educate your client, and they can make a decision on their own health care. And then Plan 3 is our most robust plan. As you see, we've got a hospital admission benefit added. Your client would choose $250, $500, or $750 for the admission into the hospital. Then the benefit for confinement is exactly the same as the last two plans. Observation and skilled nursing are exactly the are the same as Plan 2. But as you see on the bottom of the list, we've added an ambulance transportation benefit at $150 and an ER treatment at $50. So again, just some more choices. Obviously, everything confinement benefit the same. Plan 1 is going to cost the less, Plan 2 in the middle, and Plan 3 will cost the most. It's similar to the old concept of good, better, best, gold, silver, gold, platinum, etc. Now, we do offer riders, as I talked about earlier. We offer actually 4 riders that I really like that we'll get into in just a moment. We offer the accident fixed indemnity rider, a lump sum cancer with reoccurrence built into it, a lump sum heart attack and stroke with a restoration rider built into it, and a specified disease rider, which I'm really excited about that specified disease rider. It's super affordable, and I'll illustrate that here in just a couple minutes. Just to give you some idea of the indemnity, if you look in the gray box on the bottom left of your screen, it gives you some ideas of what the plan would pay if your client had an accident and had one of these issues, right? As you see, an AD&D benefit built in the plan pays $75,000. If your client has an accident and dislocates his or her hip, $2,500. A broken knee, $600, ambulance benefit, $1,500, etc. Now that's only for injuries of a covered accident. It's very important to remember that it's not for normal injuries, but if it's a covered accident, those would be some of the benefits. Now we're going to move to the lump sum cancer and reoccurrence rider. I really love this. This is very similar to the plan I'm going to talk about standalone next. It's a very underserved market, unfortunately, in my opinion, in our industry. When you think that 1 in 2 men are going to get internal cancer in our lifetime, and more than 1 in 3 ladies are going to get internal cancer in their lifetime, to think that we aren't all selling this and beating the drum for cancer insurance is a little disheartening, but we've added a really nice rider to this policy. So the way this works is it's a lump sum benefit. Your client chooses anywhere from a $5,000 benefit all the way up to a $50,000 benefit in $1,000 increments. If your client does get internal cancer, so anything that's considered internal cancer, we pay a lump sum directly to them or their beneficiary. And they can spend that money on whatever they'd like. Now, obviously, a lot of clients use this to cover things like maximum out-of-pocket exposures with the Medicare Advantage, travel expenses, experimental medication, etc. if they have a Medicare supplement. But at the end of the day, Cigna does not put a requirement at what they spend their money on. Now, the reoccurrence rider is a very nice feature to the cancer insurance. Statistically, if your client does get internal cancer, they're much more likely to be diagnosed again with cancer than somebody who's never had cancer in the first place. So the way the reoccurrence rider works is if your client does claim the cancer benefit, and then they're 2 years free of diagnoses and treatment, well, they'll have built up 25% of the benefit again. After 5 years, that benefit will be built up to 75%, and after 10 years clear, they'll have 100% of the benefit again. Now, I have had some agents bring up, well, Jim, why don't we just have them wait till they could qualify for another policy instead of having only 25% or 75% of the benefit? And I'm happy to answer that for you. In my opinion, there's 2 big reasons. First of all, the client is still paying the premium as when they originally bought the policy. As we work with seniors, many of them are on a fixed income, so the difference in premium between the cost when they're 65 and just getting a Medicare supplement and maybe 75 or 80 by the time they would have had cancer and then been free of cancer for enough time to buy a new policy, that rate slope is pretty steep and could have doubled or more the premium. Well, on a fixed income, a lot of times that does not work for our clients, and instead they'd end up having to go without any coverage. The other reason, and maybe a more serious reason, is unfortunately diseases like cancer don't wait for our timelines. If your client makes a claim and then chooses to wait for to get a new policy and not have any coverage, there is a possibility, as I said earlier, that they could be diagnosed again before they were eligible to buy a new policy. And if that happened, they would have no coverage at all, because unfortunately these dreaded diseases don't wait for our timelines. They come whenever they feel like it. You know, it's pretty scary. Also, cancer is not does not discriminate based on gender, does not discriminate based on age, does not discriminate based on anything, religious belief, color of your skin, what have you. I know people of all ages, races, genders that have had cancer, including one of my good friends who told me he had cancer at 23 years old. So very, very horrible disease that, you know, I'm a firm believer that we need to be more active in helping our clients shield themselves from that financial peril that could also come with this. Now, as we look at the heart attack and stroke benefit, it covers the big three at 100% of that benefit, which again would be a lump sum benefit of anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. Keep in mind that if your client does buy this rider, it is a separate rider from the cancer, meaning that the benefit is separate as well. So let's say your client has cancer and then has a heart attack, we would still pay out the benefit for both riders. Now, the policy, the rider for a heart attack and stroke covers heart attack and heart transplant immediately at 100%. For the stroke benefit, your client does have to have paralysis for more than 30 days to claim the stroke benefit. Now, one of the neat things about this policy is we actually do accelerate some of the benefits for preventative procedures, as you see on the side of your screen. If your client needs bypass surgery, or aortic surgery, a valve repair replacement, we will accelerate 25% of their benefit amount. So for simple math, let's assume your client has a $10,000 benefit and they go in and their cardiologist says they need bypass surgery. Well, they fill out the claim form with proof that they need bypass surgery. They send it in. We're going to send them that check for $2,500. What we do with the other $7,500 of that $10,000 policy is reserve that for if they ever have a heart attack, heart transplant, or have a stroke with paralysis for more than 30 days. Now, it is important to note that we will only accelerate that one time in your client's life. So they can't have to go back for bypass surgery again and get in another 25%. But it is very nice because they have that money to, again, help offset deductibles, co-insurance, etc. God forbid if they need it. So it's very nice that it's there. Now, on the restoration rider, it works the exact same way as the recurrence rider does on our cancer. As you see the timelines and percentages, they're exactly the same. So I just want to highlight that, and again, the same reasons why you would really like this restoration rider. Again, the recurrence and restoration riders on the hospital indemnity are not an option. So if your client gets the cancer and or the heart and stroke riders, they're going to automatically come with the reoccurrence and restoration. Now, the specified disease rider, which I highlighted earlier that I really like. I like this because of a couple things. A, as you see on your screen now, it covers a lot of specified diseases like ALS, end-stage renal, organ transplant, MS, etc. Your client simply chooses how much benefit they want. Do they want $5,000 or all the way up to $50,000? We add that to the policy, and should they ever be diagnosed or have any of those issues, we would then pay out the policy. So it's a really nice benefit for specified disease. You know, we get into underwriting, and I don't talk a ton about underwriting, but I do want to highlight that I think underwriting on our hospital indemnity is very fair. On the base policy, we ask a total of 6 questions. Things like ADLs, nursing home, AIDS, HIV are knockout questions, but 6 total questions. If you add that accident indemnity rider, there is no additional underwriting. We do not underwrite for any of our accident policies at all. Both our cancer and heart attack, stroke riders have 5-year lookbacks on this policy and have a total of 1 question each, and that critical illness rider has a total of 3 questions. So if you sell everything together, the hospital indemnity and all 4 riders, the max question is 11. So I think that's a really nice, simple way to get through a policy. Again, just to kind of drive home, it's an extra layer of protection when you wrap a hospital indemnity, specifically and primarily with a Medicare Advantage, again, to cover that maximum out-of-pocket exposure that our clients might have. And let's be honest, I know a lot of people that are even upper middle class that don't have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 lying around in a bank account earmarked for hospital expenses should they ever be hospitalized. So it's a really nice type of plan for that. And similar with the Medicare Supplement, it helps things like deductibles, copays, et cetera, that you may or may not have on your client may or may not have on their Medicare Supplement policy. So I'm going to get into some sample rates right now with hospital indemnity. Please keep in mind, as you see this hospital confinement benefit, some of these are not at the base 100. So that's why if you look to the Senior Choice Plan 1 option, that it's actually more than the Senior Choice Plan 2. These are benefits for 65-year-old with a 6-day benefit chosen. So if somebody 65 with a 6-day benefit gets Choice Plan 1, it's only $19 a month. If they want a Plan 2, but they want to keep that confinement benefit at the lowest at 100, it's only $16 a month. And you and they can play with these hospital confinements and then the admin benefit once they get into Plan 3. And as you see, you can curtail a policy for just about any budget that your client may have. As you may have guessed, if they go with Plan 1 and they have that confinement benefit at $100, it's going to be under $15 a month for your client. All the way up to, as you see that Senior Choice Plan 3 on your right of your screen, they've got the highest admin benefit, and they pumped up the confinement benefit all the way to $250, and you're only still $62 a month. So a lot of coverage for not a lot of premium. We're going to move these monthly premiums on the bottom here over to this next screen just to show you the rates of the riders. Now, keep in mind, the rider cost is the same regardless of which we're carrying it from. So I'm just going to talk about the riders, but the rider for a 65-year-old for the indemnity plan for the accident is an additional $1,650 a month. If we added a $5,000 cancer benefit, that's $1,730 a month. If we add that same benefit for a heart attack and stroke, you're $1,845 a month. And again, look how low that specified disease rider is. At $5,000 benefit, you're only $1.61 a month. So again, that's a rider I would strongly suggest we add as long as the client agrees to it. because, again, very affordable, $5,000 to cover all those specified issues. I think for $1.61, guys, you could buy a Starbucks for about $6 or buy 3 months worth of the specified disease rider. It's that affordable. These are just some other examples of premiums where we put everything together on the same screen to show you. So I'm going to just let you look at these as you see. It's just to illustrate that we can take this and we can work it for different budgets, regardless of what plan and what riders we're looking at. Here's another example just of for a client on MA. As you see, this client had a $250 admin benefit, $300 a day confinement benefit with ER and ambulance. So they had plan 3, and they got administered in the hospital, and we would have ended up in this hypothetical claim paying out over $1,600 for that. So really nice benefit, again, to wrap around with a Medicare Advantage. I'm not going to go through every example, but you can see it really depends on what happens to your client and the amount of coverage they have, what the different values could be to them. Again, I'm just going to try and drive this home a little bit for you. We do issue ages 50 to 85, and it's guaranteed renewable for life. Don't forget there are HSA compliant options that your client can choose. This is very simple. So for any of you who sell over the phone specifically, I think this product would be a world beater for you, because if you're doing phone sales, super easy to explain to your client over the phone, not a lot of moving parts and widgets, and you can help them make an educated choice. And finally on this, I know a lot of people don't like phone interviews. I know when I was an agent, I didn't always love taking the time out of my what usually was a busy day to pick up the phone and call the insurance carrier to go through stuff with my client. Well, the good news is, as long as the benefits are under $50,000 for the riders, we do not require a phone verification call on hospital indemnity. So unless you're maxing out any of those riders at the $50,000 in coverage, all you have to do is have your client sign the app if it's a paper app, or type in phone sale on the Express app, and we will issue the policy. No phone verification needed. It's pretty simple. For phone sales, all you do is call your customer, and if you're doing a phone verification, you do a kind of a 3-way call and then submit the application. So if you do have to do one, it is very easy. And then we've got our next slide up. We've got our cancer, heart attack, and stroke product that I'm going to take just a short time to talk about today, because it's very similar to what we talked about in our in the hospital indemnity. It is available in most states, 18 to 99. There are a couple of state-specific variations of that, especially in California, so keep that in mind. This standalone is available $5,000 to $100,000 in lump sum benefits. Other than that, it's very similar to what we just talked about. This policy can be sold standalone, either cancer standalone, heart attack and stroke standalone, or cancer, heart attack, and stroke together. If you sell them together, it's really important to note you would just sell one policy as the base and add the other as a rider, and they can have different benefit amounts because they're separate buckets of money. If, let's say, your client has a cancer history in their family, wants to be more protected for cancer, they could just choose the cancer benefit at, let's say, $20,000, and maybe the heart attack and stroke at $10,000. One of the things I really think is awesome about our cancer plan is it covers carcinoma in situ, which is localized cancer, at 100% of the benefit. There are still a lot of companies out there that only cover that at 25% of the selected benefit. So with us, it doesn't matter if it's localized cancer or not, if your client gets an internal cancer diagnosis, we're going to pay them 100% of the benefit. Now, as you see now, the Recurrence rider, this is an optional rider on the standalone cancer, heart attack, and stroke product, but it works exactly the same way as it does on the included rider there in the hospital indemnity. Likewise, same with how our heart attack and stroke product works exactly the same as I explained it earlier. Again, this could just be a standalone heart attack and stroke product, or if they just want cancer and heart attack and stroke together and don't need, for whatever reason, the hospital indemnity. And the Recurrence rider, the restoration rider works exactly the same way as well. So again, that's why I'm not spending a lot of time on this product, but keep in mind, this has been our #1 ancillary product in the market for several years. We sell a ton of this to clients. Now, we do offer a couple other riders that you see on your screen right now. It's kind of converse of what we just talked about. We offer a hospital indemnity rider on this and an ICU rider, or those combined. And then we also offer a return of premium rider. I will tell you guys, we do sell a lot of the return of premium rider, because if your client's #1 objection is, what if I never, then you have an answer for them. You would talk about the return of premium rider. Now, it is important to note that this is return of premium at death. But if your client does have a policy with us and dies and has a return of premium rider, we will pay 100% of the premiums paid for the policy and the rider, less any claims paid. So even if they do take some, let's say they take an accelerated benefit for a bypass surgery, and that 25% we paid out is still less than the total premiums that your client paid in, we'll still pay any difference to their beneficiary. So worst case scenario, they buy that return of premium rider, they cannot lose a penny with our policy. Now, as you see on your screen right now, it's available in 48 states. So unless you sell in Virginia or New York, we have this product available for you. Now, here's one sample rate just to give you an idea. If your client's 67 and buys a $10,000 cancer policy, as you see, that's $32 a month. The recurrence benefit for that cancer policy is only $2.60. And then if the client wants only a $5,000 heart attack and stroke policy, that's $16.75. Please note that illustrates that they are separate buckets of money and can be different amounts. Notice the cancer benefit at $10,000 and the heart attack and stroke benefit at $5,000. But even with all that coverage, we've got your client a policy at under $51.50 a month. Now, I am going to close this with what I think is a really exciting benefit for us. We are going to Monaco next year, and we have just changed our qualification for ancillary. So as you see on the bottom of your screen, agents with a minimum of 250,000 credits will qualify. Our qualifying period just started in March and ends at the end of next February. So if you're selling Medicare Supplement, you get 1-to-1 credit, so you'd have to sell $250,000 in MedSup. I know that sounds like a lot, but we have many agents every year who do qualify for our trips at that or even more. For the ancillary products like the hospital indemnity or cancer, we used to credit 3 times premium. Now, what we did just start July 1st is we're actually giving 5 times credit for anything other than Medicare Supplement. So your hospital indemnity, your cancer, heart attack, and stroke, any standalone accident policies, and our final expense, we actually give you 5 times credit. So what that means is even if you hadn't sold a single policy with us before July 1st, between then and the end of February next year, if you did 50,000 in ancillary business with us, we would invite you and a guest to Monaco next June. Super exciting. We're going to have a great time on that trip. We do not cap who qualifies. We actually also just are launching an incentive for hospital indemnity. So that'll be out there too. That's an individual writing incentive. So be on the lookout for that in your email. But it's a great way to make extra income by selling a product that hopefully you like and believe in and will be selling anyways. So with that, I know I've gone through a lot. I really appreciate you spending the last about 45 minutes with John and myself. And that's the end of my presentation. John, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, one of the things we want to make certain that people realize is your presentation really emphasizes the fact that Cigna is investing in their product and really standing behind it, and we think it's a great opportunity. But one of the agents on the line had a question concerning household discounts. Is that unilaterally applied in different states? Are there differences? Specifically, he's looking for what that might be in Oregon.
So in Oregon on the MedSup for household discounts, and again, by the way, thank you for the question. It works the same way. It's just a different discount. So two people have to live in the same household address. So same single family resident, same apartment in an apartment complex, etc. But if they both live in the same address and have a Cigna policy, Oregon is a state where we actually give a 12% household discount to both parties. So it actually helps make our product up in Oregon, for those of you who sell up there, very competitive when we add that household discount.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. I think that answers your question, Michael, but we'll make certain that a lot of the particulars on these programs are included in writing as part of the follow-up to today's presentation. And Jim, once again, we really appreciate the presentation. Thank you so much for your help. What we'll do in closing is give folks a bit of information as to why you would want to do this program with Premier. And some of the extra things that you can get with working with our organization is a simplified electronic contracting process. Many of the carriers have specific programs that help in that regard. This particular program, however, allows you to create an agent profile and contract electronically thereafter with many of the carriers, and do away with a lot of the paper that you deal with in the contracting process and simplify it so you make certain that everything is filled out correctly and you have everything you need in order for that processing to be as seamless as possible. We also make available to our agents discounted errors and admissions coverage. As an independent agent, you have a lot of choices, not only with different products, but also with different companies, carriers, but also organizations such as Premier Marketing, where you have contracts with multiple organizations. And we want to make certain that we can help protect you regardless of where that contract is. Obviously, we want it with us, but this gives you the opportunity to have your errors and admissions coverage in place, as many of the carriers require that for contracting, but it's also just good common sense in order to protect yourself in such a fashion. We also give an opportunity to complete your required continuing education as required by your particular state through a discounted program we have with our relationship through WebCE. That's available to you as well to help keep those licenses in place at a discounted rate. As an independent agent, you also maintain your own benefit package. This program gives you an opportunity to pick up non-cancelable DI coverage at a modified guarantee issue basis, discounted rates, where you share in the commission and add to your benefit package to support the protection of your earning potential, a great piece for agents in the field. Much as today's presentation is being recorded and is made available on our website and our YouTube channel, we have a number of other programs that speak to different products, but also different marketing techniques that give you an opportunity to access these recordings on a 24/7 basis. And it's a great tool for us to use to go in and review different marketing programs now, to put in place as part of your AEP program and make available to you when you want them available to you. A great way for you to get some additional information. We also make available different electronic online programs, including our Medicare Center program, which enables you to enroll people in Medicare Advantage programs on a remote basis. It's a tool that enables you to collect and store that scope of appointment before that presentation in order to stay compliant. It acts as a CRM where you can do year-over-year evaluations of a person's program, and not only with the folks that you've enrolled, but perhaps the folks that didn't enroll with you, so you can revisit them as well. We're adding an e-app function to our Medicare Supplement quote engine that also has hospital indemnity programs, such as the one Jim described today, as part of that quoting package as well. If you're interested in social media and marketing through the grand internet that we have available to us, we have a program that can help you put those efforts on autopilot should you so desire. Additional updates on that are coming out very shortly, so watch for that. And we want to make certain that all the wonderful opportunities you have to earn as much as possible through your sales efforts are available to you in a singular place. Jim described the incredible campaign that Cigna has as an incentive for you to write their product. We think it's a great opportunity to actually bask in your success, and we want to make certain that that is central to you in a singular place where you can pick up that information, even though we're going to include it as part of the follow-up to today's presentation. But a nice thing about that is your production with Cigna also helps you qualify for Premier's producer convention, which this next year is a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. So if you're a sun worshiper, that's one really to aspire to. We also offer you means of getting in front of additional prospects for programs such as Cigna's portfolio, and includes a custom contact list that's available to you because the products that are available that were discussed today are, well, Ma Bell can help you reach out and touch someone for those, and we can help you with lists that are butted up against the do not call list in order to do so. We also make available different community-based marketing programs. A lot of folks have already engaged in participation or plan to participate in the Walmart campaign. There are additional campaigns available through different carriers, including programs with different MA carriers that are specific to that organization, and using programs such as discussed today with Cigna are a great ancillary sale off of those programs. And in many circumstances, the Cigna Medicare Supplement is almost necessary for you to be fully functional in a retail setting. We also have an opportunity to help walk you through marketing with faith-based organizations. And the presentations that are available on the different products that Jim discussed today are a great topic to use in those locales as well. Many times too, when you look at different programs that deal with specific illnesses, working with providers who treat those illnesses are a national adjunct to your marketing program, and we have different programs that can help you work with providers in your community. Many carriers also offer specific leads that are generated periodically. The Medicare Advantage programs do that with some frequency during AEP. I had the pleasure of visiting with the Cigna folks with their product rollout for 2020, and that's a natural piece that you can use in conjunction with the ancillary products and the Med Sup product. That could be a key function in your marketing program now and moving forward. So if that's something of interest to you, it's a separate contract than the one that we've discussed today, but it's a great partner that can help you be successful in both areas. We are also rolling out Facebook leads based off of some of the internet connections that we have available, and those are available to you as well. Final Expense did a very thorough pilot program regarding these programs, and it is very successful in that area. So if that's of interest, we need to help you with that. And we do offer direct mail support as well based on production. It deeply discounts the cost of a mailing through our preferred lead vendors. And it's a great way for you to access the tried and true direct mail system that does provide leads on a regular basis. All that said and done, we'd like the opportunity to work with you, earn your business, and make Cigna a very key part of your marketing program. In order to do so, we need to chat with you. You need to decide that this is a key function of your overall marketing program, and we move forward with it without hesitation. In order to do so, well, you're going to get some follow-up from us, as I mentioned before, and we will be reaching out to see if we can't discuss these programs with you. But in the meantime, if you like, we can be reached through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. We want to thank you for the time that you spent with us today. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss the programs we have available for you through our partnership with Cigna, and we look forward to discussing those with you in the very near future. In the meantime, however, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much, and we'll talk with you very soon.